Ride or die, right? One last ride. This is Brazil! Let's talk the upcoming Furious 8, or Fast and Furious 8, or whatever, New York in 8. Listen, it's going to happen, guys. They're going to make another Fast and Furious, focusing on 8. We heard Vin Diesel talk about how he wants to move it to New York. We heard that Kurt Russell is going to get a bigger, juicier role, which is great because I felt that was the utter not need for 7, where he didn't do too much. This is going to be a spoiler discussion, so from here on out, I'm going to be talking about basically the upcoming Furious 8, what they're going to do, what they might do, and also what they need to do, honestly. Yeah, that's right. So, spoilers right now. Paul Walker's gone. They retired his character. The audience knows he passed away. It's fine that they never use that character again. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be in the back of our minds. But as you know, Brian, they don't really need Mia as well. They don't need Jordana Brewster in the upcoming films, maybe like as a cameo or so to speak. But she really doesn't need to be in the roster. You know what I mean? The starting lineup here. She wasn't really in the films. I thought she was going to do a lot more in the films, honestly. But she was more of just the mothers, sticking with their guys and stuff. So Jordana Brewster doesn't necessarily need to be in these upcoming films that they're gonna make. I hear 3, I hear 2, but most likely they want to do one more trilogy before it's all said and done. And honestly, they can... how long could they go? So trilogy would definitely be just, tell the public 3 more movies, that's it. You're gonna get your money, but this could get old pretty fast. And it could necessarily... Can you still keep going up, or could it decline a little bit? Paul Walker is gone. He was a big asset to the Fast and the Furious franchise. Brian O'Connor, he's going to be missed. We all know that. But who's going to not necessarily fill his shoes, but pretty much step up to the plate? Now, as we know in Furious 7, that the crew is just dwindled down, man. You got Vin Diesel, you got Letty, Dom, Letty, you got Tyrese, of course, you got Ludacris. Han and Giselle are gone. They died off. The Rock wasn't necessarily in it as much in Furious 7 because of, I believe, scheduling conflict. But how much of a role is he going to be playing going forward since Kurt Russell is going to be stepping in? I'm making a case here. A lot of people have been wanting it. I especially want it. I was excited when I saw it in Furious 7. I was not excited what happened for after that minute or cameo. That's Lucas Black joining the crew. Lucas Black, being the main protagonist from Tokyo Drift. And we see Dom and Lucas, talk, and he gave Han all that stuff, especially Giselle's picture, which I thought was a nice touch. I really want Lucas Black in this one. I think he should join Dom's crew. Dom's crew. Why not? I thought he was going to join it in Furious 7, honestly. When I heard Lucas Black signed on for 3 films. But now that might not be the case because he has that show, NCIS New Orleans, so scheduling conflict. But I don't see why he wouldn't want to hop on board for this franchise. And also, a lot of people had a bad taste of Tokyo Drift, but I believe Tokyo Drift wasn't that bad of a film. I think Too Fast, Too Furious, honestly, is the weaker of the films. Tokyo Drift is actually a pretty fun ride if you just, embrace it. I thought it was actually a pretty not too bad movie. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that character as well, and I think it would make sense for him to join Dom's group, especially that we know that Jason Statham and his brother, the Shaw brothers, they're still alive. They still could get released. And, Helen Mirren, I believe, the chick from Red, the old lady from Red, she can still kick ass. She might join the Fast and Furious if they, hear her plea of wanting to be that big bad villain. And it could have been Mama Shaw right there. So, there's a lot of possibilities, but I think Lucas Black should jump on board. I think he should come in with the crew. I don't see why not. I do not see why not. I thought, like I said, when I saw him in Furious 7, here's recruitment time. But no, that wasn't necessarily the case. I don't see why he wouldn't want some revenge after Han's death, because it was Jason Statham. It was him that killed Han. So I didn't know what the deal that was all about. Now, who could? I think that need at least 2 more members. I can't think of another one. I think you guys, let me know what you guys would want to see join this crew. Like I said, Lucas Black. I'll see a lot of people posting that he should join the crew. He should come on board. There's a mixed bag, liking Tokyo Drift, not liking Tokyo Drift, liking him, not liking him, because a lot of people hate his acting and stuff. But I think he's not too bad, and I think he should join. The other person that necessarily could join, like I said, this crew is so dwindled down. I think they need at least 1 more member. That's not including if the hacker chick will be involved in more Fast and Furious films as well. Ramses. Oh, gosh, she was hot. Oh, eye candy. Well, anyway, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. Who should be that next spot? I think, honestly, it should be definitely another action star. It could be female or male. I think what's so great about this series is how diverse it is. Not divergent, diverse. And that's what appeals to the audience, a lot of audience, because it's so diverse and it works. You see the chemistry just ooze out of this screen because how diverse and how different these people are banding together. That's why they're known as a family. I have freaking 4 friends who I consider my brother in all different ethnicities, but I consider them as family. And like I said, it comes down to it, whatever fits the role, honestly. But I do like how the series is very diverse. Now, like I said, Lucas Black, where are we going? New York, huh? We're going to New York. It has to deal. I don't see any other villain but the Shaw brothers. I just don't. I mean, they set it up. Jason Statham, honestly, wasn't the main villain. He was one of the villains. He wasn't the main one. It was also the guy from freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. You know who I'm talking about. Star-Lord. Who? Yeah, that guy. And also the guy from How to Train Your Dragon 2 and also from Gladiator. Well, anyway, yeah, so honestly, New York, man, why not? New York is actually a pretty cool place. I don't think they're going to stay there the whole time, just like all these other films. They're going to be there for a little bit, then move on to the next place. Honestly, I think the only films that have stayed in one particular place is Tokyo, Too Fast and Furious. I think the Fast and the Furious stayed in LA, but not counting Race Wars, where Race Wars was held. I would love to see more of Race Wars. I would love to see more racing, underground. I would love it to see it go back to its roots, so to speak. It's gotten too ridiculous. It's gotten to a point where it's like a superhero movie, and I think you need to dial it back just a little bit. You really need to make these movies, you can have that ridiculousness, you can have that cheese, but I think they should go back to a little bit of being a little bit more realistic, because check out look at Fast 5 and look at 6. Even though there is very ridiculous moments, especially with 6 upping the ante of ridiculous moments, it felt more cleaner. It felt more like, they didn't necessarily rely on just too much of the goofiness, and they try to, well, 6 kind of went overboard, but 5 kind of felt grounded a little bit, even though it did have ridiculous moments as well. And then a 4, of course, before it had a little bit of CGI could have been better, just like 7. But overall, I'm looking forward to this series. I think Lucas Black should jump on board, and whoever you guys think should be on there. I can't wait for 8. But if they never were to make 3 more or 2 more or 1 more, I think they could have ended at 7. They could have ended at 6 if they wanted to introduce Jason Statham, and I would have been happy. 7 seems like it would be a good way to say that's it. That's all. I think we're done here. And how much is the cast gonna want to return and do this, especially losing their friend Paul Walker. But you get tired after a while. There's a lot of stunts you got to do. There's a lot of action. These are action-packed films. Look at the Michelle Rodriguez and Ronda Rousey fight. I mean, that was brutal. That was really well done. But how much is Michelle Rodriguez going to want to do that? Just start, going head to head. And stars will say some stuff like, oh yeah, I loved it, but then they'll feel a different kind of way once they're sitting at home thinking about it. So, and then it's all about the green. How much are they going to Universal willing to spend to keep their stars banded together? So not sure. But overall, I think the series is doing good. It's really doing good. Like I said, 7 I liked. I thought it wasn't as best as the 2, but it still is a solid entry to the series. And it is Paul Walker's swan song, and you're gonna miss him. So I just believe that this team now needs to just grow a little bit more. But that's about it, guys. I mean, that's all I got. That's really me making my case for Lucas Black, and me okay with New York, but I don't think they're necessarily going to stay in New York. I think they're going to go somewhere else. And of course, I think the Shaw brothers, they've been set up to be still the villain. Maybe one more villain coming into play. Mama Shaw, perhaps. But the Shaw brothers are most likely going to be the main villains, or at least one of the Shaw brothers. And that's about it. I mean, hopefully they get, and hopefully they do come back a little bit with cut back with the ridiculousness a little bit, and do actual, stunt work and stuff more using more drifting. I would have loved more drifting. That's what I loved about Tokyo Drift, was the drifting status. Hell, I would love for them to go back to Tokyo at one point, maybe to go recruit Lucas Black, but who knows. Thank you guys for listening. Let me know your thoughts. Where do you want this series to head? Do you want it to continue? Do you not want it to continue? Do you have ideas where it might go? Let me know. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. All right, thank you guys for listening, and I'm out.